course, every wedding has a story, but the one I'm thinking of isn't about a bride and a groom. It's about a bride and a bride, and it starts at the Plaza Hotel 20 years ago.
My wedding will be the happiest day of my life.
I think it's beautiful.
It ain't June.
And it ain't the plaza.
Are you ready to catch this bouquet?
I'm feeling kind of strange because of all the things.
Liz, will you marry me?
Yes. We're Marion's 1 o'clock, and we're each other's maids of honor.
I had 3 openings at the Plaza. 2 the 6th, 1 the 27th.
Oh, my parents' anniversary's the 6th. It's so meant to be.
Oh, then I'll take the 27th.
You want to discuss this with the grooms?
No.
Can't get enough.
That's good for Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my God. It's stunning.
Maybe I should keep looking.
Get the dress.
Marion.
Your wedding dates have been booked on the same day. Which one of you wants to choose another venue?
What?
One of us will just have to get married on a different day.
One of us will have to be flexible.
Well, one of us can look at different venues.
Yeah, one of us could.
It's crazy. They haven't spoken for like a week. It's like a century in girls' years.
You send out your save the dates?
Surprised?
Your wedding better watch it. If I were your wedding, I'd be sleeping with one eye open.
You're right. Your wedding will be huge, just like your ass at prom.
Your wedding can suck it.
Just a pre-wedding glow.
Wow.
What the hell happened to you?
A little spray tan surprise.
You can't ignore this. That way the terrorists win.
Make sure it's not so ashy. My hair's blue! It's blue!
Witch!
The clothes are gonna have to come off.
Isn't that bad? Fletch didn't think it was that bad.
Well, honey, he's your fiancé. He probably thought your hair looked nice, too.
Welcome to Dorking Out. My name is Sonia Mansfield, and your wedding can suck it. Joining me is my podcasting sister from another mister and the co-host of Dorking Out, Margot D. Hello, my friend.
Hello, my friend. I am a New York City school teacher. Can I afford a wedding at the Plaza Hotel in 3 months?
Totes. The most realistic thing about this movie. No, I'm kidding. We are dorking out about 2009's Bride Wars. It's directed by Gary Winnick. Screenplay by Greg DePaul, Casey Wilson, and June Diane Raphael. Mm-hmm. And they are both in the movie as well. It stars Kate Hudson, Anne Hathaway, Brian Greenberg, Chris Pratt, baby little Chris Pratt.
Baby Pratt.
Yeah, baby Pratt, Steve Howey, Candice Bergen, and Kirsten Johnston, who's
so funny.
She's so funny. She needs her flowers. Can we all give her flowers for a second? Every time she shows up and stuff, she kills it. She's so funny. Yeah. Let's start like we always do, my friend. Did you see this in the theater?
No, I did not see this theater because at this time I used to work for Modern Bride magazine, and I think I had left at this point. So I was like, fuck weddings. I don't want to look at one. I don't care. That's where I was.
I also didn't see this in the theater, and that kind of surprises me because I saw a lot of stuff in the theater around 2009. So I don't know. There was something about it that didn't interest me. And so for me, this was a first time watch. I've never seen it before. Had you seen it before?
I think so. I think it must have been on like TNT or something like that. Like I must have glanced at it because I knew the blue hair and the cookies.
Right. It's just, let's start like this. I feel like there was like a really crazy wedding culture in the early 2000s that was like dialed up to 11 more so than what it was previously. I mean, I guess it's still a little dialed up now, but it seemed really excessive. And I don't know. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sonia. Because I'm sorry. I'm going to unload a little bit.
Yeah,
here,
do it.
So my job was I was the director of public relations for the Condé Nast Bridal Group. And this was a bunch of wedding magazines at Condé Nast. And it was so ridiculous. The wedding culture was getting so bad that, and we're still kind of recovering from it, but it got down to the things like, what is your goodie basket for your friends that are visiting from another town? And like, we recommend this one that costs like $100 a piece. And it got really, really ridiculous. So yeah.
Everything was really, really expensive. There was a lot of judgment.
And super personal too. Like everything had to be very personal to the couple. Like they have their cocktail and they have their colors and they have their this and their that. It just, wedding culture, I think, just got really dialed up.
Yeah. And around the time this movie came out, all of my people were getting married.
Right.
Which is maybe why I was like, no, thank you. Like, I was like, I don't want to spend my free time thinking more about weddings.
Were you married?
I was not married.
Okay.
I was not married. I got engaged later that year. And the truth is, like, around this time, all my friends were getting married. And so I was going to a lot of weddings. And then you couldn't win. It was, if you super cared about your wedding, then you're a bridezilla.
Right.
But
that's true.
And if you didn't care enough, then they were like, you're not being bridey enough, which apparently is a thing, because that happened to me when I got engaged. People were like, don't you care? And I was like, well, yeah, I care, but like colors and I don't care about that stuff. Does that stuff matter? You know, but like people had these expectations. And then I felt like everybody was like, a lot of us were doing like DIY type weddings to save money. But then even that was like getting more extreme and like you had to invest like a ton of your time in money in these DIY things and like outdo like the person whose wedding you went to before. It was really, really toxic, and a lot of focus on weddings and not what a marriage is.
Yeah. And my job was I had two editors in chief, and one of them was desperate to be on television more than the other one. And she wasn't very good at it. And I had to keep her updated. Every time a celebrity got engaged, I had to say, what was the ring? What, where did they plan to do it? How long have they been dating? Where's the wedding going to be? Is it going to be destination? Like, you had to know, because people would call us like Access Hollywood and stuff like that. Even then, like, somebody got engaged, like all of a sudden they'd be at our office and they'd be talking to my editor who knew nothing about pop culture. And it was just like, I spent hours looking up shit about Nicole Richie or Trista from The Bachelorette.
Yes, yes.
I mean, it was, it felt like this is getting to be way too much.
Yeah. And I was going to say that maybe it's changed and it's not as bad now, but I think it's still pretty bad. Like, I'm hearing that people are starting to like charge people for coming to their weddings.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not going to pay you to watch
to have
you
a party.
Yeah. Like, no, thank you.
No. Am I the Asshole on Reddit has a wedding story at least once a week.
Yes.
They're very, very fraught, these events.
And there's tons of drama always. It's like, who's invited, who isn't invited, who's at what table, what colors are people wearing, who's a bridesmaid, who isn't a bridesmaid, like, who's going to be the maid of all of these things turn into, like, relationships are ruined over weddings. Yeah. And like friendships, family relationships ruined over.
Have you ever been invited, asked to be in a wedding, and then regretted it because it was too much money?
Yeah.
It was just
repeatedly.
Yeah, same. I know. I got to the point where I kind of made it very clear, like, oh, congratulations. Please fucking don't ask me.
Please don't. I've been a bridesmaid. We probably talked about this in the Father of the Bride episode. I think I've been a bridesmaid like over 10 times for sure.
Yeah.
And that means I've spent hundreds of dollars that I didn't have, by the way, because I was like a newspaper reporter, on bridesmaids dresses that I was 100% never going to wear again, on shoes that I was 100% never going to wear again.
And then it's the bride. It's the everybody goes to Vegas now. I mean, everything, it's just so ratcheted up. And then it goes beyond that. And then it's the wedding and they have a baby and then you have to be there. Now it's a gender reveal. I know I'm going to sound like old man yelling at the clouds, but it's just like.
I have never been invited to a gender reveal, which makes me think I've got the right people in my life.
I've surrounded myself with good people because they don't put that on me.
Yeah. I will say I don't think I was a bridezilla. I think I did a good job of trying to keep it in check.
You're such an empathetic person. Like Sonia is the last person to be a bridezilla. Sonia on her wedding day didn't even have a bouquet for herself because she was so worried about other people. So one of her best friends got her a bouquet. I swear to God, that's true, y'all.
This is a true story. My friend Tiffany, who just texted me the other day and was like, come visit me, because she's in Boston now. She asked me at the rehearsal dinner if I had a bouquet, and I was like, I don't. And she's like, why do you not have a bouquet? And I was like, it's fine, I don't need one. And she's like, that's stupid. You need a bouquet. You'll want it. And I was like, well, if you say so, but whatever. I don't think so. The day of the wedding, I texted her and I was like, I think you're right. I need a bouquet. And she's like, you're a stupid fuckface. And I picked one up for you already. She's like, I'll bring it. Like, and I was like, that's a friend. That's a friend right there. Yes.
And that's your first warning that your ex should have been more on top of it. But I just realized.
But like, it was, there was a whole thing about like my sister was my maid of honor and she's like, what colors should I wear? And I was like, I don't care. Just wear a dress that you love. Just buy a dress, man.
But that's also putting work on people.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that's why
an expectation.
Yes.
Right? She
was like, I need to know, you need to give me like some parameters here. And I was like, but she ended up having to go to my ex for that because I was like, I don't know. Like, so maybe I'm the worst. Maybe I'm like maybe I was too laid back. But anyway, enough about that because mine didn't have a happy ending. It was fine. It was a fun wedding. Anyway, I want to say some good things about this movie because I had never seen it. And I will say instantly, the idea of covering this movie, I was like, ugh, women fighting over weddings. Blah. Right. But I do appreciate that it is talking about the pressure that's on women to get married and have those weddings. And it can be super competitive. So that tracks. I think there's a kernel of truth about the having the perfect wedding at all costs, damaging your relationships and your friendships in the process. Mm-hmm. But like, I was really confused at some points in this movie where it's like, let's go through it.
Yes.
Liv and Emma, that's Kate Hudson and Anne Hathaway, have grown up together. They're basically sisters. And they have both dreamed their whole lives of like having a June wedding at the Plaza Hotel in New York. They want to get married so bad. Actually, they just want a wedding so bad. They don't, not the marriage part. It's really about the wedding. Mm-hmm. And like Liv is the Kate Hudson character. She's like tough businesswoman doing businesswoman things. And Anne Hathaway is the like really kind middle school teacher who lets Kirsten Johnson push her around. She's so funny in this movie. And then the husband or the fiancés are Chris Pratt, baby Chris Pratt. And then the other guy, oh my God, his name. Sorry. Steve Howie. Like,
what else has he done?
The other movie I saw, I was like, he did Something Borrowed, which is the other wedding movie. That
I know there's 27 Dresses, which I haven't seen, but some people tell me that's funny.
I remember being pleasantly surprised
Right.
that one.
Or maybe I did see it. I think they filmed it in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Because
Keep
I had sent you a clip of something borrowed, and I was like, do we want to talk about this piece of shit? And you were like, let's do Bride Wars instead. And I'm like, that's fine. Whatever. It's basically the same people, so who cares? We picked this one instead. And basically, their whole thing is that they're going to get married. They're both now engaged at the same time, and they're both going to get married at the Plaza Hotel. And they've like got their appointment with Candice Bergen, who's like the wedding planner of the Plaza Hotel. And there's a mix-up, and they have the same date at the wedding at the hotel.
The same date, the same time.
Yes. And like neither one of them will back down. And the grooms are like, let's just have a double wedding. It'll be super fun. And they're like, no, we're not doing that. And they start sabotaging each other. That's when we get bride wars, and they're just super shitty to each other. They start like, well, first they try to bully the another bride into giving up her date, and that's Casey Wilson.
Right.
getting abused and chased around. And they
Bloomingdale.
At Bloomingdale's.
Huh.
And they just do all these things to like hurt each other. And I was like, this isn't funny to me.
It's hard to watch because I mean, this is the thing. They're very likable actors. Like Kate Hudson and Anne Hathaway. I mean, so you can push it. You can push that topic because Kate Hudson, she's adorable. Everybody drank. She's likable. I mean, even when she's being kind of mean, you kind of root for her. Like she has her mother's gift of like being appealing, and they're good actors. So what went wrong?
I don't know if maybe I don't know if I would have thought this was funny in 2009 either.
Right.
It's not funny to me to watch two women who super love each other and grew up together
have each other's back.
Yeah, and be super horrible to each other because they know each other's weaknesses. The like Emma sending Liv candy so that she'll eat it.
So she can't fit in
her expensive dress, or like, what's the thing she does to Emma? She like swaps out her spray tan and she's walking around looking like Donald Trump, or like Emma's hair turns blue at some point, which by the way, I was like, that probably would look great on Kate Hudson.
She looks great in everything.
Right?
She could be bald. I mean, she'd still like be the most gorgeous person in the room.
Yeah, like Liv starts spreading a rumor that Emma's pregnant and like puts a registry of Babies R Us for them, and all this baby stuff starts arriving. And there's a whole thing too where they have like Liv is having a bachelorette party at like a club where, you know, I guess a strip club. I don't know. It's like a Thunder Down Under situation. And like they have a whole dance off, and Anne Hathaway can dance, by the way. Like,
she's great.
Yeah, she's killing it there. But like, meanwhile, the dudes are like, doo. Like, just like, okay, honey, whatever. Like, there's like a little bit of stuff about like Anne Hathaway and Chris Pratt. And like, she is starting to get more outspoken and starting to stick up for herself a little bit more. And he doesn't like that. He wants a cool girl. Right.
Right.
And on the flip side, like Kate Hudson's character is starting to get a little bit more emotional and a little bit like her feelings are hurt about all of this.
Well, she also, like, I didn't remember this because I have seen this before, but she's the one who lost her parents.
Yeah.
Like recently. So like
she lost her parents.
Right.
And the date is her parents' wedding anniversary, which is why she wants to hold on to it so bad. And
they're like, yeah, what the fuck?
And at the same time, like, Anne Hathaway's character's like, no, I always give up everything for you. I want to hold on to this date. And I mean, both of them are being pretty dumb about it. But at the same time, if you want to like look at it logically and like, honestly, Anne Hathaway should just give up the date. Like,
well, she also shouldn't marry that guy. I mean, it's pretty,
that too,
you know, you show them at home and he's pissy with her. I mean, about everything.
Yes.
And it's like, they shouldn't get married. Like Kate Hudson's marrying a great guy who's totally has her back.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, what we're even fighting. And then, like, Anne Hathaway is such a wimp that Kirsten Johnson is like her only friend at the school, and she treats her like crap.
She does something that is like a chef's kiss, like a master class in manipulation. She continues to like get Anne Hathaway to do her work for her, and then acts like she's done a favor for Anne Hathaway by letting her do the work.
Which everyone's worked with somebody like that.
Totally.
At your first couple of jobs when you're just learning things. Like, oh, there's people who just like to boss people around and don't do shit. But still, I'm like, what's wrong with Anne Hathaway? Like, what is she trying to fill here? Because I don't understand her motivation.
Yeah, I don't know if we're even supposed to pick sides, but I kind of did.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I think we are. It's a war, right? So we have to pick somebody.
I guess. Like, I mean, they're both acting bananas. Like,
right, and we should say that. So the script with the movie was in production, and then Casey Wilson and June Diane Raphael, they were comedy partners. And they were in a comedy showcase that was in Aspen. They had they did the comedy thing there. So they like won something, and they were given this like a lot of money. This started their careers.
Nice.
So they took over the script. So it's two women in their 20s or early 30s, like just getting, so they're like right at the right age to approach the material. They're both funny. They're both comedians. Yeah. So then I'm like, why isn't it funnier? I would think it would be so much funnier. Like I just think it's lacking in laugh.
Yeah. I feel like somewhere in here could be a good movie. I don't see it. I don't see the good movie, but I feel like it could be there. The whole middle section just bums me out.
Right.
And then all the stuff like, they come to the end and they're both like having their wedding at the same time at the same hotel on like ballrooms that are like across from each other. And they have this little moment where they see each other in their dresses and they're like, and then they go their separate ways. And there's a whole thing about like they're going to play a video when like Anne Hathaway's character's walking down the aisle. I've never seen that at a wedding, but maybe it's a thing. And instead they play like something from her spring break where she's all drunk and dancing on a bar and she loses her shit. And then she crashes she runs across and like tackles Kate Hudson in the aisle, and they're like wrestling and tearing at each other's dresses like a couple of loony bins. And then they just decide, nah, let's not fight anymore. The end.
Yeah.
No.
And then Anne Hathaway's not going to get married, but she's going to be a maid of honor to, I guess, so everybody that spent money to go to her wedding, they're now going to. They're going to put everyone in an odd position too, like all their mutual friends.
And then there's like a whole thing about like, I was like, well, what happens to all the people that were at Anne Hathaway's wedding? Are they at this wedding? And then I was like, maybe I'm not supposed to be thinking about that shit. And that's a problem with the movie if I am thinking about that shit. Or maybe it's a problem with me. And like, I appreciate that she has this moment with Fletcher, with the Chris Pratt character, where she's like, you're in love with someone 10 years ago. And we've grown up and changed, and we're not going to get married. And he's like, that's cool. Like, bye.
Bye.
And then the next thing you know, she's hooking up with the brother. Like, because she couldn't just be single. She couldn't just like break up with Chris Pratt and like not end up getting married. She has to hook up with Kate Hudson's brother.
Because they're always meant to be, Sonia.
I guess so, but it really came out of nowhere to me.
Right.
Unless I missed something.
And then at the end, she comes back from her honeymoon Anne Hathaway, and she and Kate Hudson, they're meeting up, and turns out they're both pregnant at the same time.
With the same due date. Are we going to get, did we get Baby Shower Wars? Did that ever come out?
No, actually, I would see a baby war.
Baby Shower Wars. Baby fight. I want to see the babies fight.
Yes, that's what I would
Finish him.
Play the music from Raising Arizona.
Yeah, that's right.
In the background.
This movie's just, I know that like we posted that we were going to do this and some people were like, I know this movie's bad, but I still like it. And I get that.
Yeah.
I get why people are like, I don't care that it's bad. I still like it. It's got great people in it.
Right.
It's super, it's watchable. I get it. I'm like, truthfully, I liked it more than I thought I would. Like,
yeah, it's watchable. It is watchable. I just, I wish it was funnier.
Yes.
That's for me. I was like, I wish it was funnier. And I think if it were a little less grounded in reality and just more heightened,
that's it. Thank you, Margot. Nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
If all of the shit they were doing to each other, like it needed to be more, or maybe like the friendship needed to not feel so genuine. I don't know. Like,
I think it should have been like a fake friendship, like this whole time.
Yes.
And then this was a thing that just blew it up. And then all of a sudden they found out, oh, we really are friends. Like, it would have been better if they were frenemies.
Yeah. Oh my God, you fixed it. You fixed it, Margot. You're so good at this.
Yeah. I think they should have been frenemies first. And then, yes.
Or coworkers.
Because at this one, it just, like you said, it started just bumming me out. Like, why are you ruining her wedding day? Like, why are you doing this to her? This is like, because she got the same day as you. And then I'm sorry, how much does it cost to have a wedding at the plaza?
Yeah. The fact that Anne Hathaway's character has been saving up since she was 16 years old for her wedding
is problematic.
Feels really, really sad to me.
Yeah.
And
no, seriously, yeah.
Maybe it shouldn't be. Maybe I'm just being shitty because I'm an old, bitter divorce lady. But I'm like, that's money you could have a down payment on a house, probably.
Put yourself through college.
Yes.
Yeah, or have a down payment for your first home.
Anything.
So you have some equity. I mean, yeah, it's, and I think it should be exploding more of the myths around weddings too. That would have been fun. I think you get the Plaza and Vera Wang, they're not going to satirize themselves. They they take themselves very seriously. But so I think it would have been, if I were to take this over, I'd say I'd make them frenemies. And then I wouldn't even have it like the Plaza Hotel. Like, who gives a shit? Like, you have New York in your background. We could just really open it up and it would make more sense. It's just the day. It doesn't have to be the place. You're right. That's a much better movie. Yeah. Good job, Margot. Again, it's fine. It's fine. It's just it just, the whole middle section really bums me out, and then the whole thing at the end where all of a sudden she's now hooked up with Kate Hudson's brother, and I was like, what? Like, where did that come from? But I get why people in our various Facebook groups were like, it's bad, I like it. We all have those kinds of movies, and we should maybe we'll do 27 Dresses someday, because I know that people have a fondness for that one. I don't think it was like a huge hit, and I think it found its people after it started streaming. It's more of a premise I know I could relate to. Yeah. Which is, when you're just constantly in somebody else's wedding and you have friends that go crazy when they get married and really go down those rabbit holes that, oh my God, definitely. Some of them really get nuts with it, and it's just, they do. Like the color schemes, I don't know how many weddings I've like been put to work, like, because they're like saving money, again, back to the DIY weddings. Like, I've, made 1 million table favors. I've made 1 million little pom-pom things that you hang up.
for decorations. I've done so many of those projects. I've done a lot of unpaid labor for my friends' weddings.
Yeah.
But now I'm too old for that shit.
Yeah, no. I send a gift.
Yeah.
Like, they know them.
I'm not going to pay anyone to go to their wedding. But I will definitely buy you something off your registry, and
yeah,
I'll come and lead the conga line for you. Absolutely. Like, I'll do the chicken dance. I'll do the Macarena for you. I'll do all that shit. I'll dance with your grandpa. Sure. I'm fun at weddings. I'm a blast. I bring the party.
I'm sure you do.
I'm a goddamn delight.
You're like Kathy Hilton with their conga line.
That's right. So we have never done a 2009 movie before.
Oh, that's right.
So we get to do the top 10 movies of 2009.
I love it.
Okay. Number 10, Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
Sure. That's a movie that happened. You know what? That movie's fine.
It's totally fine.
But it's not
so much better.
It's not Sherlock Holmes, though. I was like, this is just an action movie. That's fine.
Yeah.
It just didn't need to be Sherlock Holmes. Oh, I love to make fun of this name all the time. Alvin and the Chipmunks, the Squeakquel. Needless to say, I didn't see this one because I didn't have a kid yet, so I didn't have to sit through that kind of shit. Number 8, The Blind Side.
Thank you.
Problematic.
That movie from the trailer, I remember that was in a movie theater, and it, you see the previews before film. Yeah. And that one played, and people in the audience were like, "Oh boy!"
They wanted to give Sandra Bullock an Oscar so bad that they gave her one for The Blind Side, and I'm like,
well, she's a white savior.
Yeah, I'm like,
it's yeah.
Oh yeah. Number 7, Star Trek.
Sure.
I'm like, I like the first.
That's the reboot, right?
Yeah, it was the reboot. I like the what they did 4 of them. I actually liked 1 and 4. Number 6, The Hangover.
Yeah. Big movie that year. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen it again. I've seen it a bit. I loved it at the time, but I wonder now.
I also thought things were funny in it. But I will say a lot of pop culture loses me when they want me to like Mike Tyson. I just don't like Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
I don't like him. He's on my shit list. And whenever they bring him up is like, haha, it's Mike Tyson. I'm all, ew, gross. So, yeah, I don't know how much that one would hold up. But I thought it was funny at the time. Oh, this movie made me cry forever. Up.
The first 15 minutes of Up. I mean, if you need a cry in your life, if you need to like access your feelings, just put that on. Just like the first 15 minutes of that movie, you will be bawling your eyes out.
I remember seeing it in the theater and like sobbing in the theater.
Everybody was
fucked up because of that movie. I've never seen any of these. Actually, I've seen the first one. This is Twilight New Moon.
They're really bad.
I've seen the first one. I didn't really like it, so I didn't see any of the other ones. But I know that younger people love the Twilight movies. And
I think if I were 10 years old when they came out, absolutely I would too.
Totes. Yeah. I get it. I'm like,
I totally get it. I'm not judging. It's just
not for me. Number 3 is Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince.
Yes.
I like the Harry Potter movies. This is the one I never remember.
Same.
I don't hardly remember the book at all or the movie. So, number 2, Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen.
Never seen it.
I have never seen any Transformer movie. So, I don't know if that's like a third or fourth one. And then number 1, this movie was huge, Avatar.
Yeah, Avatar. I like it when we watch it with the F This Movie people when they does.
That's so funny. That's when it clicked for me too.
Yeah, I didn't like it before that, but then Patrick had an F this movie marathon.
Yeah.
It's on Twitter where everybody watches the same movie at the same time, and I really enjoy it in that respect with him. But other than that, I don't care.
Yeah, when
I'm
I
sort
saw
of
it in the
like,
theater, I was blown away by the visual effects, but the story was like, "Wah, wah."
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we talk about what we're working out about this week too. There's something I want to.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's do that. Well, and that's it. So,
all right. So these are the top 10 songs for when this movie came out, which was January of 2009. Number 10, Beyonce, If I Were a Boy.
I love Beyonce, obviously.
Number 9, T.I., Whatever You Like. I love T.I.
I don't
back
know
in the
this
day.
song.
Oh, I love him. Number 8, Kanye West, Love Lockdown.
I don't know that song either, which is weird because I remember liking that album at the time. Anyway.
Number 7, Britney Spears, Womanizer.
I love that song.
Number 6, Katy Perry, Hot and Cold.
I love this song. I used to love Katy Perry stuff. She did such great pop music.
She used to. Number 5, Taylor Swift, Love Story.
I love Taylor Swift.
We do. Number 4, Kanye West, Heartless.
I don't know that one either.
So yeah.
What
number? Where were you?
I don't know.
Number 3, Live Your Life, T.I. featuring Rihanna. You have to know that song.
I don't know this one either.
Really?
What was I doing?
I don't know. Okay, number 2, Lady Gaga, Just Dance.
Yeah, yes.
Great song. And number 1, the week this came out, Beyonce, Single Ladies, Put a Ring on It.
Oh my God.
One of the best songs ever.
It is, absolutely. We all were trying to learn that dance back in the day.
Yeah.
That's a good list. What else are you dorking out about, my friend?
Well, I finally saw MAXXINE.
Oh.
The third in the X movies.
Yes.
With Mia Goth.
And
it was renting, and it was $9.99. So I was like, because I was going to do that, or I was going to do the M. Night Shyamalan, whatever.
Oh yeah, Trap. That's on my list. Yeah.
But I was like, do I want to pay $20 for it? Because everybody says it's like just okay.
I'm waiting for it to go down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I saw MAXXINE, and why did they make it better?
Right?
Why? How did they screw this up?
Yep.
They had a great, your time and place, setting is great.
Yep.
The actors are fantastic.
Yep.
I mean, how did they fuck this up?
I don't know. We talked around it a little bit when it first came out because I saw it right away because I really love X and Pearl.
Yeah.
And went to see this one, and I'm like, I was disappointed, and I felt like I was treating the movie unfairly because the preview had me thinking like, oh, they're going to mix this up with the, was it the Hillside Strangler?
Night Stalker.
Night Stalker. Thank you. I was like, oh, they're going to like mess around with history and they're going to somehow involve the Night Stalker. And I was like very intrigued by that. Like maybe they were going to do like Inglourious Bastards, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood thing and involve MAXXINE in that story. And I got very excited, and that's not what the movie was. And I was like, okay, well, that's not fair that I'm judging the movie for not being the movie I wrote in my head, I guess. And I appreciate what it's doing because it's like playing with those 80s tropes of these kinds of thrillers and horror movies that came out in the 80s. But I don't know, it didn't work for me, and I was disappointed.
I got so bored watching this movie. I was just like, after all, I'm like, I don't know where we are. I don't care. I'm just annoyed. And how do you just introduce the Night Stalker and then just not have him be a part of the story?
That's the part. I was like,
he terrorized the entire state. Because he went up to San Francisco.
Yes.
Like, guys, we remember when this was happening. I remember 85. I was alive in 85.
Yes.
Like, it's all very, like, prescient to me. It's all like very precious to me this whole time and this whole place. And I was like, and you got her, and you got better budget, a bigger budget. Like there's gonna, like you said, like the Night Stalker, like mixed with that would have been incredible.
Yes. And that's why.
And they didn't do that.
I know.
He's doing Angel Hooker Girl, whatever that movie was.
Yeah, which is, it was Angel.
Angel or
No, it was just called Angel, and it was a
Angel.
like student by day, sex worker at night. She's underage.
Right. Sorry, I was using the parlance of the times.
No, you're fine.
But yeah, no, we talked about the other movie, which was about child sexual abuse. Fallen Angel, something like that. But anyway, that was before. That was a TV movie. But anyways, I just was like, I don't know. I was just really disappointed.
I would rather watch Angel than MAXXINE.
Yeah, I probably would too.
I watched Angel earlier this year, I think, because I heard, hey, like if you're excited for MAXXINE, I heard Angel's an influence on this. And I was like, oh shit. Like, I don't know if I've seen the cover of Angel a million times, but I don't think I ever saw it. So then I watched it and I was like, this is pretty good. It's pretty good. And like, I know it has like hardcore fans and I like that. And I don't know. I wanted MAXXINE to be something else and it wasn't. And I can totally acknowledge that that's not fair on the movie, but overall I was just disappointed.
No, you are being fair though. Like they introduced a character,
yes,
and they gave us in the past ideas about her or what she can do. I mean, she gives this audition. She plays a person that works in adult film, and she wants to transfer into legitimate films. So she's going the horror route, which a lot of actors that worked in pornos did.
Yes.
Yeah, because they're like, I'll take my top off. I don't care. I don't have to have sex with anybody. Great. Like,
cool. It's practically a vacation.
Yeah, this is easy for me. And she's obviously a good actress. I'm like, I don't know. I just found it trite. I didn't find it. I thought it was a waste of like really talented people
because Mia Goth is great. Like
she always is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like she is so good. And I mean, she should have been nominated for Pearl. She's so good in Pearl. And it's just disappointing.
So that was a big disappointment for me. But what I did enjoy this week was on Netflix. I enjoyed The Perfect Couple, which is Nicole Kidman
and
watchable. Lev Schreiber. I watched it all in one fell swoop.
Me too.
I loved it. I have a million questions, but it's okay. Like I don't understand the accents. I don't know where everybody's really from. I don't understand. Like, did they have a funeral for the person that died?
No, there's no funeral for the person who died. Nicole Kidman has like a relative show up at some point. There's like different accents going on. Other people have random accents that
I don't get the accent word, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I love the fact that they open it up with Bollywood dance routine.
It was
perfect because you know what? You're not supposed to take it seriously. This is a more fun White Lotus. There's not as much. Yeah. You're not going to feel bad. You're not going to like wind up feeling sorry for somebody. It's just, you're totally like, you get it. It's just cotton candy. And I thought it was really, really fun.
Yeah.
More of this, please. Yes.
Yeah. I liked it too.
More of that. And then I told you about a documentary on Netflix and
the opposite of fun.
The opposite of fun, but fucking A, like really intriguing. Into the Fire?
Into the Fire, The Lost Daughter. It's on Netflix.
And it features a woman. It's a true story. It's a documentary about a woman who's searching for what happened to her daughter that she gave up for adoption. And it's this woman as a character, as a person.
Yes.
I need to see 100 movies with her. Like, who is she?
Her and her husband are like, I was like, what a cool husband he is, by the way. Like, he's he is so supportive. And like, her thing was she had her daughter when she was 16. And so she gave up her daughter. This would have been in the 70s or
74.
Yeah. Thinking that she's giving her a better life, and that life turned out to definitely not be better. And like, I don't want us to spoil anything for people, because I think part of what's so powerful about it is learning the truth about things, but absolutely heartbreaking for that woman to be like, just to feel like you made the wrong choice. And did she make the wrong choice? No, she made the best choice she could with like what she had,
a
you know?
Kid.
Yes.
And this is why it's important, even though this happened 50 years ago. This is what happens when we don't have abortion. We don't have abortion rights.
Yes.
And also you're in a culture where we don't give sex education, or we just tell people, oh, just give birth and give the baby away. It's fine. You know, and not understanding the psychic damage of all of that.
And we have nothing in place to help people that do want to keep their babies.
Right.
Like there's no
cushion.
Yes.
We're just like, we won't let you have any access to abortion. We won't have any access, but we also won't take care of you.
Yes.
While you're pregnant, and we certainly won't help when you give birth.
Yeah. Once you give birth, fuck them kids.
Fuck them kids. Figure it out. So like she was in a situation where her own mother was like, you can't do it. You got to give her up.
Yeah.
What's she going to do?
Yeah.
She's just a kid.
She made the best decision she could. And, you know, she's told like, hey, you give her up now. She's still just a baby. Like she's going to know you. Yeah. She won't remember. She's going to get the best of the best because she's a baby and people want babies. And, you know,
and she was a beautiful baby.
Beautiful baby.
Gorgeous baby. So you're thinking the same thing. Like, well, she's going to be with a couple that really, really wants a kid.
Right. And
then it's like baby boom, where it's like this hick family where they're going to just like make her work in the field or something as a child. But she was in a really bad situation. Yeah. And then it's like, it's in high school in the 80s when we first learn about her in 89. She goes missing. And then that's all we'll say because, but
she finds out that her daughter is missing because she is contacted by not the FBI, but some sort of legal, they want her DNA because they have found a Jane Doe and they think this Jane Doe might be her daughter. And that's what starts her off on this. Like, what the fuck happened to my daughter?
Right.
And it's a really powerful story. It's really well told. And when Margot told me about it, I was like, well, I know what I'm doing tonight. So it's not a laugh riot, that's for sure. But it's really well done.
Crazy directions, but it's really well done. Yeah.
That's a good one.
And that's it.
Okay. On top of that, I also watched the first 4 episodes of How to Die Alone. Have you seen the previews for this on Netflix? It's with Natasha Rothwell. She was in the first season of White Lotus. She's the one who works in the spa.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think she was on the show Insecure, which I've only watched like the first 3 episodes, so forgive me on that one, but she's in that. And she like works at JFK Airport. She is celebrating her birthday. I think it's her 35th birthday. And her like best friend like cancels on her to go out and get that dick. And she's like, fine. So she goes to what is basically IKEA and she buys some furniture and takes it home. And she's putting it together, like eating her favorite like crab rangoons and like putting together furniture. And the furniture falls on her and she dies for like 3 minutes. And, you know, someone hears that there was a crash and they call 911, they take her to the hospital and they, you know, she's resuscitated and she's fine. And they try to like call her emergency contact and she has made herself her own emergency contact. She has like no one in her life that she can trust to like be there for her. And this is like a huge moment for her. And she's like, I need to change how I'm living my life. And so she's just like, I'm going to try harder at my job. I'm going to work harder on my friendships. I'm going to, you know, and it's funny and really touching. She works at the airport, but she's afraid to fly, but she bought a plane ticket for like New Year's to go to Hawaii, and so she's like trying to work up the courage to do that. It's really, really well done. It's super entertaining. Natasha Rothwell is so good, so like beautiful. She can they're doing all kinds of things. She's like singing and dancing and like just being funny, and it's really, really good. I recommend. It's just each episode's like under 30 minutes.
Perfect.
So definitely check it out. I think you would like it. And then should we talk about Below Deck Med?
Yes. So what are your thoughts on this week's episode?
So fucking stupid. Ellie is one of the most clueless.
I wish I had her self-confidence.
Clueless
she
people.
really thinks she's like the hottest thing in the world.
Yeah, she's like, I have been killing it all season, and I can't believe I'm being treated this way. It's like they had to bring in someone else to like help them because you weren't killing it all season, Ellie. And like the minute like a new girl shows up and like Joe express interest, Joe sucks. Like the fact that
Joe's
any of these
worst,
would give this man any time of day, like all of them should just run. But like the minute the new girl's like, oh, he's like flirting with me or whatever, then all of a sudden Ellie's like, well, I still care for him very much. But it's like, girl, shut the fuck up. She's just so clueless and trying to like boss this new girl around who's like way better at her job than Ellie is. Like,
and just laughs her off.
Yeah.
That's what's funny. Because Ellie tries shit, and Carrie, who's Scottish, and I can't understand anything she says. I have
you
to
have
look
to watch with the subtitles.
You do, because she gets really excited when she talks. But she's great. Like you said, like she's a fast worker, and she gets shit done.
And she cares about the people on the boat having a good time. Right. Like she's serving drinks. She's like picking, what can I do for you to make your time here fun? Steam your clothes, blah, blah, blah. Like she's doing the job. And the whole time Ellie's just like, how can I trick people into thinking I'm doing a good job? It's like, if you spent some of that energy doing your job, you'd be doing a good job.
I love it when she's laying in bed and she's looking at videos for branded partnerships. She's like, that's just what she is. She's just building up her Instagram following. But yeah, Joe is just the worst. And they have an after show, and he and Nathan, I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, what is with men? What is going on with millennial men?
No, it's because they're in love with each other. Like men are more impressed with impressing each other. And that doesn't impress women, just FYI. It's like Joe is one of those dudes who likes to have sex with women, but he doesn't like women.
Right.
Like, and I don't know, maybe Nathan is one of those guys too. I can't quite figure that one out yet, but yeah, some dudes are just more impressed with like more about impressing other dudes. And it's like, that's not how you get pussy.
No, and it's just, yeah, he's just very full of himself. Like he micromanages the woman under, and then the thing is that Gail is this gorgeous woman who's on the deck, and he's supposed to be the lead deckhand, but he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah. And
so she kind of just, and the guy who is the bosun is a total idiot. Ian, they just put him in a closet and just forgot about him.
Ian is totally like Homer Simpsoned into the bushes. Like, for the second half of this season, he has disappeared.
He says nothing, and they even have him in the after show, but they just ask him questions and he just answers. He's just so basic.
Yes.
But so anyway, he tries to boss around Gail, and he even called her a princess, and then she said, "Don't call me a princess," and because it's sexist and it's blah blah blah. And he's still like in the after show, is like, "Why can't I call you a princess? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that word?" Blah 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 blah. It's just women can never. He's such a piece of shit, and women are never good enough for him, and they have to fit his standards. But I still find it a very watchable show.
Oh, it's super watchable.
Yeah.
Very watchable. It's so good. I can't thank you enough for turning me on to these ridiculous Bravo shows that I love so much now. Like this one. So good. I think that was everything on my list. Yeah, that seems right. But that's plenty of good recs for y'all. If you like the sound of our voices, we also co-host a podcast called What a Creep, where we talk about creeps of the past and the present. This week is kind of a creepy trope. We're talking about pick-me's and cool girls.
Yep.
It was
And people like it.
Yeah, I'm so glad they like it. I was a little nervous. It's a little different than what we normally do on the show. I normally pick people or policies, I guess. But yeah, it was fun to talk about. So please listen there. We got a review. I need to remember we got a review. Thank you, Manny K, for 5 stars. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Manny.
If you want to give us a review wherever you listen to your podcast, please do that. It helps us find our people. We want to find our people.
We do.
You can find Dorking Out Show on dorkingoutshow.com and on Twitter, and it's on Facebook too, but that's where people go to complain that I said pussy, Dorking, Threads, Instagram, all those things. Where can people find you, Margot?
You can find me at brooklynfitchick.com. I'm at Brooklyn Fitchick for Threads and Instagram. And I'm at Brooklyn Margot for TikTok and Twitter. Well, that's still going.
Yes, follow her on all the things. She's always sharing clips of everything we're going to talk about. She's very good on social media. I just go there to scream into the void. So good on you, Margot. You could
Content.
Content.